Teaching in society has evolved over many years. From the types of teachers, whether they're heroic or hegemonic overloads, they both have an impact on our lives. However, teaching isn't limited to only teacher and students' interactions in the classroom. Parents play a part in education too. Education takes a village. As we discuss experiences, challenges, portrayal of teachers in literature and films, changes, relationships, and more. Today, we'll investigate teaching in today's society through three perspectives: the teacher, parent, and student. Let's see what we'll uncover. Our first interviewee is Terrence Williams. Williams describes a liminal teaching approach to his children by relating school subjects to life. Let's learn about his experience while using liminal teaching.
Hello, my name is Terrence Williams. I am a special education teacher here at Rockdale County Alpha Academy. My class is a self-contained classroom, grades 6 through 12. I teach all subjects from ELA, math, science, social studies, study skills, and life skills. I have been teaching for about 6 months now. I've been in the education system for about 3 years. I started as a technologist, internet technologist.
What influenced you to become a teacher?
One of the things that influenced me to become a teacher is the fact of being a coach. I started out coaching basketball while I was a technologist with the school system, and coaching allowed me to see the benefits of being an effective teacher and the impact that you have on kids' lives.
What stereotypes or challenges do you face as a teacher in this profession?
Oh wow, one of the stereotypes I would guess is that as a teacher you have to be the smartest person in the room, which is not necessarily true. One of the things that I encourage is knowledge from a lot of sources. Collaboration is the key. As a teacher, you want to collaborate and with your colleagues as well as your students and parents. Challenges, I would say, as a teacher is reflecting. Make sure I reflect at the end of the day, at the end of the year, on how well I did what I did to become better.
How do you feel teaching is portrayed in literature and or media, and is it accurate or not accurate?
I think at times that it is. It is accurate, especially there's a mixture between the two, let me put it that way. I think the way teaching is viewed in literature is that, especially the time of the literature, it is a very formal setting where you have this person that stands in front of the classroom and spew out information to kids, and kids are supposed to be like these disciplined disciple pupils that sit there in their desk and soak up all the information and go home and come back and repeat it over and over and over again. I think to an extent that may be true.
What teaching approaches do you find the most and least effective?
Okay, wow. So in my opinion, the least effective is lecture. And not that lecture is not good, because I do lecture on certain subjects. But I think it's least effective. I think you get the least amount of learning out of one person, like I said, standing in front of the classroom. I'm gonna use the word regurgitating information and trying to get the students to comprehend everything that you're saying through spoken word. Now, the way I learn, I can tell you the way I do it. The way I learn best by putting my hands on different objects, whether it be math, whether it be reading, whether it be social studies. And it has to be relevant to my life today. One of the things that I taught was American government to some of my students this year. And in American government, most of them didn't understand the political process. So when I broke the political process down to where they can relate to it, for instance, I gave the example, what if the American government, what could you do if the American government wanted to ban rap music? Is there anything that you could do to prevent that from happening? And most of my students didn't realize that they had a process that they can go through their governmental system to petition or prevent something that they disagreed with. And so that's how I got them into voting and how they want to know who their senators, their governors, and so forth.
What was one of your most memorable moments as a teacher?
I have to use the word teaching, coaching was one of my most memorable moments. Was when I began coaching 2 years ago, and I was kind of thrown into the mix because of some unfortunate incidents or an unfortunate event actually, which made me the head coach of the 9th grade team that I was coaching, and getting the guys to really accept you after something kind of shifts their atmosphere, I would say it like that. And basically when you're coaching and you're coaching teenagers and they don't think that you know what you're talking about, you have to really prove yourself. So my most memorable moment was when I won my first basketball game after I had to kind of change a play that they were used to doing consistently, and it wasn't working. So we had to change some things, and then when it started working, they realized, oh, Coach Williams knows what he's talking about. We won the game, everybody was excited, and they kind of accepted me.
So if there's anything you can change about education in today's society, what would it be?
The thing that I think is different about it is that in today's society, teaching is more of a platform where it's informal, because most of the learning today is done informally. Kids are taught how to, the kids that do very well, I would say, in school are great at informal learning and formal learning. They're able to come in and do what they need to do in the classroom as well as outside the classroom. I think the thing that has changed teaching is technology. Technology has played a major, massive role. When you look at Google Classrooms, when you look at Khan Academy, when you look at YouTube and other digital platforms that people can just learn from. Majority of the things that we teach today, you can get it online. I think what makes teaching still relevant, where you have students come into a classroom, is that what's missing in learning today is the ability for students to relate to others. And when you're in a teaching environment, one of the things that we teach is how to relate to other students and how you relate to society. I would, if I could change, I would change the way we present standardized testing to our children. Because I think there's some research that shows that standardized testing may not be the best way to evaluate whether or not a child is achieving at the level they need to achieve at. I do understand why we have to do standardized testing, but I think if we could change that aspect of it and also do virtual classrooms, do environmental classrooms, take the classroom outside. For instance, I would love to be that teacher that when I talk about the judicial system, take my class to a courtroom and let them sit in a courtroom and learn from a judge and an attorney. Let them see. So those who have a dream of being attorneys, doctors, and lawyers, we can take them into that environment and they can actually see, what it's like. And I think school is kind of tilting that way now with some of the career academy opportunities that the school systems are developing. But I think it would be better if I'm teaching science, I get to take them to a lab so they can see exactly what goes on in the lab.
All right, and the last question is, what does teaching mean to you?
Wow, what does teaching mean to me? Well, I come from a long, long line of teachers. A way of life for me. It's a call. It's not a job. I love doing what I do. I enjoy interacting with my students and seeing them learn.
Parents work hand in hand with our teachers to create an understanding of our students' needs through life and social skills, which are lessons often learned from our parents. Keith Logan explains the role of the parent relating to teachings and communication. Join as we speak to Keith Logan. Logan emphasizes the importance of relationships both at home and in our schools. But how are students growing and learning from teachers in today's education system?
Hello, my name's Keith Logan. I have two girls that have gone through the education system. One still going through, one going to the 9th grade, and one has already graduated from high school.
What has been your experience with teachers as a parent?
My experience has been good. I've always tried to work with the teachers, and I've always saw it as a team effort, trying to get my girls educated. So it's been good, and we've always had a good working relationship.
What lessons do you believe is important for a child to know?
I think just being able to communicate and to network, to be able to talk to your teachers, and to create those relationships. I think that's sometimes overlooked in the education system, but it's very important in the real world.
How do you feel teaching is portrayed in literature and or media, and is it accurate or not?
Teachers and literature and media. I think the relationships are, I think those situations do exist, because you always see for the most part, you see the relationships between a teacher and a student, whereas in the real world, those relationships don't always exist. So I think they're real, I just don't think they're everywhere, those examples.
What is one of your most memorable teaching moments as a parent or when you were a child?
Most memorable experience, for me, it was being recognized as Parent of the Year. That was from helping out at my girls' elementary school, and that was just going up and volunteering and helping out with projects, helping other kids out with their projects, and to be recognized by other parents and the teacher administration. That's probably my biggest thing.
If there's anything you can change about education in today's society, what would it be?
I guess I would put more focus on, career development, or, finding something that matches the kids' interests. The education tends to be sort of a track system, and, it's difficult to get off those tracks. So if your child excels, it's difficult for them to jump to another track to, an accelerated rate, or, because it's a common education, you don't necessarily get to see where the child is really strong at, and to guide them or let them guide themselves to something they're very much interested in.
Alyssa Macy gives us an inside look as a student in today's society.
I'm Alyssa Macy. I go to Woodward Academy, and I'm in the 9th grade.
Okay. What qualities do you believe makes a good teacher?
Listening to their students, understanding their values and society, like in their generations and stuff, to relate it more to their students and not what they learned.
What was one of your most memorable teaching moments as a student?
In Spanish, we play games and stuff, like Kahoot and things like that, to make it more interesting and fun, so that we remember the material based on that, and not just flashcards and facts all thrown at us at once.
How do you feel teachers are portrayed in literature or media, and is it accurate or not accurate?
I think it's not accurate, because teachers don't just throw facts at us in the movies. They'll just say a lot and nobody's taking notes in the movies and things like that. But they actually talk slow. We ask questions. They let us figure it out. They don't just blurt it all out at once.
If there is anything you can change about education in today's society, what would it be?
I would say that I don't know how to change tests, but we wouldn't take tests the same way we do nowadays, because I feel like teachers just prepare us for those tests, and then after that test is over, we just forget all the information. So maybe test later on, but don't have as strong of a test, and keep the same material even after the test, keep quizzing us on it so that we won't forget. Because literally all we're asking is we raise our hand and we're like, is that going to be on the test? Is that's going to be on the test? That's the most frequently asked question. So yeah, change testing.
Alyssa spoke on the overgeneralization of tests to measure students' knowledge. Using different approaches to find effective ways of learning, such as games, makes lessons more memorable and learning less of a task. Overall, these teaching perspectives show that traditional approaches aren't as effective as they once were in education. Expectations for teachers are high, yet relationships outweigh lectures, and reality outweighs test guidelines. So let's aim for meeting long-term goals for our students' success, as education is a teaching lesson that will constantly evolve.